Welcome to Book Thots, brand lifestyle podcast. We are thoughts for books, and these are our thoughts on books. I'm Emily.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Adriana.
Three sisters stripping down one book at a time. Today we'll be reviewing chapters 60 through 67 for part 9 of our 10-week journey through Heat of the Everflame, the third book in the Kindred's Curse saga.
Before we jump in, we do have a content warning. Today's podcast is rated mature. We are Book Thots after all, so we are going to be using adult language and talking about adult topics. So please pay attention to who may be listening near you. Additionally, this episode will include spoilers for all 3 current books. Each episode we will focus on specific chapters, but our conversation will include the entire series. So if you haven't read it, today's episode is not for you. Lastly, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. Maybe we, but definitely Emily and I will be mispronouncing names and places. Adriana will be leading the episode, so let's strip it down, girls. Strip it down.
You didn't say that with confidence. You're waiting for me too much, I felt like.
Because
I needed
you are
I
the
thought you were
like
gonna do
go.
it.
Yeah, you're the cheerleader for that one.
I needed you to go as hard as I go on that.
Oh, well, that's probably not going to happen.
No?
I mean, I did the voice acting last episode.
You did.
You did.
so
Yeah.
I think I
Have
paid
you
my
gotten any
dues.
calls yet?
Yeah, many people have been like, can you voice this for me?
Before Adriana strips it down, I have a question for the group. I'm not going to say the series because it will just give away too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got thrown back into time and there was no hope for you to get back to your modern day time, how long until you're like, well, I got to start a new life here?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Like, how long would it take for me to realize that?
No, like how long until you moved on, until you
Oh.
gave up and you're like, well, I guess I'm never seeing my family again and I'll get remarried and all that? Or do you never?
I would never give up. I'd probably never be able to be like, yep, this is my reality now. I just would like be the crazy.
It would have to be centuries for me. If like I could have the capability of living for centuries.
It's-
because
no,
at that
this is
point, like
like-
I would not give up.
It's not centuries. You're not immortal. You just are a time traveler. You fell back into time. You live a regular life.
No,
Then that would be sad.
I'm the crazy person locked in the dungeon, like thinking that I can create
Yeah.
a time machine.
She's from the future.
That's me.
Yeah.
I don't think I could just accept
It's
it.
going to be hard to build a time machine when you're in a time where there's not even like running faucets.
Just
I
call me Denial DM and put me
put you
in.
in the prison.
I think I would be like in The Martian. Have you all seen the movie or read the book?
I've
By Andy
seen
Weir?
I've seen the movie, but I don't remember it much. It's really long, isn't it?
It is long, but it's a great, in this case of your question, like it's him not realizing, like, yes, he's realized that he's been left, but he does everything to sustain himself for the amount of rations he has and then tries to do everything he can to multiply that. But like he does everything in his power to make it last so that he can survive and possibly come up with a way to contact help. So if I was the one not being able to contact anybody, I would do everything I can to build, like, let's say a ship, a time machine ship, or whatever would get me back to time, to my current time. But
in
at
this
that
scenario, time machines aren't like a thing. They fell into the past. Like
oh,
they
you
didn't-
said time travel, and I assumed
yeah, they
like
do.
time
They time
machine.
traveled,
Okay.
but it wasn't in a
I
time
gotcha.
machine. They fell into the past.
Yes,
I think
I'm
it's
following.
like 2 years, and then they get remarried. Or you're
Is
not
it a
gonna
woman or
survive.
a man?
It's a woman that
okay,
falls
so
back in time.
trash. I just
Kind of
I had
label
to-
it by society standards.
had to be clear about that. I guess then I'm looking for wormholes. Is that how it happens? It's just like
Kinda.
I gotta find the area
That has it.
that
Yeah.
has the portal and I'm going in. I just don't think I could unless
You'd be the
I'm-
crazy person.
Yeah, I'd have to just
But
be
you have kids. In this scenario, they don't have kids. So I had to just change it a little bit.
So I'm now curious, what sparked this, and what would be your answer to your own question?
Oh, I was just brushing my teeth this morning and I thought about it. That nothing really sparked it.
This is why she's great at questions.
I my answer would probably be like if I'm thinking specifically to the time periods that this happens in, you kind of have no choice but to move on. As a female, you just
Mhm.
kind of wouldn't. You're either married or you're a witch.
But are you still like trying to get back?
I think
Even
for
with
a
whatever.
while, yeah, because I have a husband on the other side, but at some point you got to be like, well, I choose happiness, and hopefully my husband moved on too.
Mm-mm. Nope, I'm a witch.
Yo, witch, burn her.
What else floats in the water? Small rocks.
Bring out your dead. All right. Let's strip it down, Adriana. Strip it down, girl. Strip it down, girl.
Chapter 60. Diem is in utter disbelief. She is not the Montios crown. But even as she says it aloud, she knows it's not true. She felt the calling humming in her blood, the same as she felt in Lumnos and then Fortos. The council explains that they saw her at Raimari's gravesite, which is how they knew, because her circle is warded where only the Montios crown may enter. Their late king warned them that his heir would be unlike any other and to trust the Blessed Mother. When asked when he died, they explained he never returned from the attack of Kareel. But none of the other crowns are aware. They first wanted to find their new crown before word got out. Had the Umbros Queen been aware? Was this something she was planning on revealing to her while visiting her? Reaching inward upon the forging magic, she could feel Luther's presence and shattered the binds around his magic, confirming she was, in fact, the new Montios crown. Before she pulled completely away from the forging magic, she remembered something the Umbros Queen had told her. The Queen had once used this forging magic to spy on the people within her realm. As Diem searched deeper within its magic, she could feel the sense of life in her realm in places where she could sense the fraying of its thread. She felt the conflicting urge to heal and mend the tears, while also the urge to burn and destroy. When she felt the pull towards something that felt as if it didn't belong, she followed her magic. The same place she felt a calling while on Sarai. A place of burned trees and darkness, she found a man, the same man from her previous visions. A chilling smile and gray eyes just like hers. Something unsettling familiar about him, a recognition in her blood. His presence made her want to cower and kneel, instincts warning her of danger. The man stepped closer and grabbed her wrist. Well, if it isn't the daughter of the Forgotten. So many years he's been waiting for her. How he's willing to give her the world to show his thanks. When she asks who he is, he just responds with, "Come find me and I'll tell you." She better hurry, 'cause their destiny awaits. With one last warning, if she spies on him like this again, he'll kill her. With a growl, he shoves her backwards, and she is thrust back to the room where her counselors are. It felt as if she was falling through infinite sky. Hepta tries to help her back up from where she'd fallen out of her chair. Diem explains to them what she'd just seen. The man from her visions in the Forgotten Lands wants her to come find him, and a 10-pointed star is now glowing at her neck. Diem storms for the door as Hepta calls out to her to wait. But there's no time. Diem needs as much magic as she can take from them and find this man and kill him before he can hurt anyone else.
I think it's really odd that we know it's a separate realm for Montios, but yet she can still use the forging magic to feel that part of the land.
I know, I feel like I want a map during this whole thing.
Well, wasn't he left out of the new forging magic? So it
Yeah.
would technically be Montios.
Yeah, it's just he's there now. It just feels weird.
Like she shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. Because he should be in control of his crown and his realm now. Maybe this is how Amarion was before they created the forging magics and stuff. Maybe they could all the kindred could access the like forging magic or land in every way.
I think that is inferred in the whole reason why they did the forging magic was only to exclude him.
Okay.
So I think that's why he doesn't have power, because the whole point of the forging magic was to imprison him. And I guess they just had to live by the new rules of I'll only have the magic in my realm, but that's the price to pay to keep him from having no territory.
That was their sacrifice that they made.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Part of it. I feel like this is a scary scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's
so
like,
creepy.
oh, there's no way he can see me. And then
He literally grabs for her.
yeah. That's like when you're in a dream and you're like, I'm safe, but you're
Mhm.
not safe.
I feel like it always happens when people like find out that they can spy, like by hiding through veils or whatever in these types of books, it always happens where like the big baddie is like, I know you're there, and then like attacks them even though they shouldn't be able to touch them. So like you should expect it, but you never do.
But in this one, it's Dada.
It's just finally the first time she talks with him too. Like in her previous vision, she's not really seeing him face to face, or he's still just kind of, isn't he still kind of a blur to some degree?
Yeah.
She still doesn't. Go ahead.
She says this is the first time where she's like been able to see him without the blur of the vision or whatever.
Yeah, that veil that's like keeping him hidden.
But she still doesn't connect the dots that that's her dad, even though it is to me just so obvious. I don't know.
There are parts where, we could refer to DM as a little bit dim sometimes. Just a little. I mean, there are times where she picks things up very quickly, and then there are times where she's like, I don't know.
Well, she's still in denial on who her father might be, so I guess it makes sense for her mind to block the connecting of dots.
What I don't understand is her denying it when the orb is what's told her that her father is still alive, versus like, oh, this could be an uncle. He could just be a relative with the same blood, versus like, no, your dad is alive. The orb told you that. No matter what your mother eventually tells you when she finally has that conversation with her for the truth. But like that denial to me, I would be that would be heavily at the forefront of my mind. So I'd be searching for answers that relate to that. And if he's the one I'm finding that pull to and my blood seems to call to his, seems any kind of similarity, I'd be like, no, that's definitely dad.
Yeah.
Like even if I don't recognize you or recognize me in you, that's dad.
I could see her being like, I don't understand how the descended work, and they could be tricking me on how the orb works, or maybe there's like ways around the orb answering your questions, like loopholes, like, is your dad alive? Maybe in spirit, but not in truth. Kind of like one of those things.
I think that it's so creepy, the 10-pointed star that's like carved into her skin. I would feel better if it was like a shiny tattoo. Like that would make me that would make me be okay, but it's in her neck, which is like the creepiest place for me to imagine cutting or needles or whatever.
It's like in every demonic movie ever.
Yeah, like burned into her skin like
What's that called? A hexagram?
Yeah, something like that.
What's the thing in demon movies that they always like sketch in the skin?
Pentagram?
Pentagram. Yeah, that's what I picture.
But this is 10-pointed.
How many is a pentagram?
I think it's supposed to be 5 because penta is 5.
I mean, I knew penta meant whatever number it was, but I couldn't remember what penta was.
This is a decagram.
It's a decagram. She has a decagram in her neck carved.
Seriously, it's just like carved and then it's glowing and bloody. And I'm like, oh God, this is too much.
I just thought it was funny that she could see him through like the way that she's like hovering over her realm, searching through her magic, can feel all the life and the death within it. But then all of a sudden it's like this window pane of him. She's like searching into the home or wherever he is.
Called to him.
Yeah. And then he just like turns around and he's like, oh, there you are. Don't ever spy on me again.
Yeah. I'll kill you.
Chapter 61. Reading the note left for her by the previous Crown of Montios, she reads aloud the same prophecy. 11 must fall for 1 to rise. Share the gift to pay the cost. A dying star will rekindle the spark. What is forgotten is not lost. Remember my sister's words. Beware my brother's wrath. Headed towards the Forgotten Lands, Diem just wants to run away from it all with her prince and Sarai. Her and Luther discuss the need for a bigger boat for all the people they would bring with them. They could find a little cottage on the edge of the sea and have an apple tree for Sarai and goats for Luther because he loves how cute and menacing they can be. Asking her mother about her birth father, Arlie is quick to say that she does not trust Luther and he holds secrets of his own. Once it's all out in the open that Luther has told Diem everything Arlie knows and more willingly that there are no secrets anymore from his queen. Arlie finally states that there is no way Diem's birth father is alive. She knows he's dead because she killed him. He suffered from mentally ill spells, and the day she was born, he tried to attack her and kill Diem as a baby, so she used a godstone blade to stab him in his heart. But the orb did tell Diem that her father lives. Could he also have a way of surviving Godstone through his blood? Because let's be real, there's no way he's just descended. Diem breaks up the arguing that takes place between Luther and Ariel.
I haven't
What
even
is her
said that
name?
one.
I've never heard that. That's where Arali or Orali, but Ariel is new. Ariel.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to redo the opening. Adriana will be mispronouncing
Yeah.
Everything. Diem breaks up the arguing that takes place between Luther and Arlie. She needs them to work together. They are on the same side, and they are two people she cares about most. She's fighting a war. She needs their help, or they need to leave her to it without their bickering. As they get closer to the Forgotten Lands, they notice the shift in the air. His presence can be felt. The land feels and looks decayed, and they can't help but notice it looks like there is a Gryvern circling them from above. But it's not Sarai. She's chained up back at Lumnos by Remus. The second her feet hit the ground, a rush of energy surges through her, her godhood wanting to be in the dark and gloomy place. She hears its voice again. Claim me, daughter of the Forgotten. Even Luther is kneeling beside her and can feel his magic being pulled out of him into the soil. Diem could feel her godhood growing and getting stronger, feeding off the land itself. This land felt as if something bad had happened here. Unlike its name, it remembered and was wanting to claim its due. In the clearing, they find the group of guardians gathering. Looking around, they have food planted in shelter. Arlie recognizes most of them as ones who have despised her and thought her too weak. And at the center, speaking to them all, is Vance. Then they see him. The one that's magic has been calling to her. Diem has a bow and arrow and draws it back, with Luther telling her to aim for his heart or the spine at the base of his neck. But Arlie is murmuring something, and it's only when Diem finally has the determination to fire it that she hears her mother's words. It's impossible. Diem, that's your... Before he turns around, the arrow disappearing at his neck, and says, "Hello, Arlie." And to Diem, "Hello, daughter. At last, we finally meet." It's her father. What a family reunion. I'd want to have a seat at the table just to witness.
I feel like this chapter is so random because it's like they just like trek through the forest to know exactly where they're at and try to kill them from a tree.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem realistic. It seems like a bad plan. It seems like Luther would have been like, we really need to
It's a really
sit
bad
down.
plan.
Yeah, it makes no sense why.
Arlie being so like cunning and careful, and they just like blatantly trek through the forest, come up on the camp, and they're like, "Oh God, he's here! You gotta kill him right now!" And it's only you, only.
What distance are they shooting from?
I
They can
don't
see
know.
everybody's face, but they're still hidden in the trees.
Yeah.
I guess they're like they're fighting like elves right now. Just picture the elves with the bows up in the trees.
But they're close enough that Arlie can even see their faces. So it's not their descended vision that's making them see it. We're assuming that Arlie has 20/22.
I just can't get over the fact that Arlie and him don't have more to hash out. Like, she stabbed him in the fucking heart and left him to die,
Yeah.
stole his baby, and went away,
It
and
kinda-
then they never talk.
Yeah.
It does kind of seem like he wouldn't have let them escape this situation. He would have been like, "That's my baby mama. That's her."
Maybe he likes her still. Maybe he's in love with her still.
Maybe she's the cure to him being evil, because I want to go back to the, what's it called?
Mm.
When it's predicting the future.
Yeah, the vision
letter,
or
Yeah.
the
whatever.
vision,
Prophecy,
the
whatever.
prophecy,
Mm-hmm.
the alluding. I just
The
don't know.
final words of the Montios
Yes.
King.
It says, "What is forgotten is not lost."
Mhm.
And I know she's the forgotten, the daughter of the forgotten. So does that mean there actually is hope for him to not be bad? Because it's like, that's how I take that. What is forgotten is not lost.
There is a lot of talk about Luther thinking he's unredeemable and Diem still thinking maybe there's a good part to him that I can save. And then Arlie saying to Diem, we're the opposites. Like, you always see the good in people while I always see their worst
Yeah.
features or worst attributes or whatever you want to call it. But so maybe they're going to be able to give him a chance to love again or a chance to choose sacrifice, because I just don't think there's not any way that him, Diem, and Luther are coming out of this alive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty positive they're going to have to die, and then something's got to be shared, and then somebody's going to live again, or maybe more than one person will live again. I don't know, but
And she seems, at least Diem seems to understand. She's like, man, if I was locked up by the Descended or my brothers and sisters, maybe I'd come out with a vengeance too. But there's so much of the history of what we don't know of the Kindred, why they chose to do this, that leads us to, can he be redeemable?
And I think that Diem is the dying star that will rekindle the spark. And I think it's the spark of the Everflame tree.
oh,
I think
for
it's,
sure.
yeah, I think that's why her mother is still alive. While he's been unchained, released, whatever you want to
Yeah.
like word it as. I think he knew who she was when she came to the lands. I think he used it as a plot to get a powerful bloodline that could only unlock him, but also be used in like a future war or like a revenge.
But
in a
he's not
sense.
the one that sent her there. So how would he have known?
No, but I'm just saying I think he recognized who she was when she
Yeah.
came a knocking basically and was like,
Yeah.
hello.
Well, yeah, for sure. He definitely knows about their fate. He knows. Everything the Umbros Queen knew through her kindred, the Father Umbros,
Mhm.
and everything that the Montios King knew from Mother Montios or whatever, this dude also is privy to. Like, if he's not the actual kindred, because I'm kind of questionable on that still
No,
too.
I think he's the actual kindred.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they have different names, and then
No,
it's like
I think he's the OG.
the Gryvern goes away and hides, and then there's also it talks like that there could be other people of the Forgotten Race still out there. I don't know.
I
Are
think that's
there
just
any kindred still alive that they know of, or do they
I
just
think
worship
it's
him
just
as,
him. I think
okay.
he is the original kindred.
Okay. Well,
I don't think he's a descendant. I think he's the OG that
I
they
do
locked
too.
up.
Yeah.
And I think when it says 11 must fall for one to rise, I think that's like all the crowns plus DM. And then I also think the one to rise is the Everflame tree. I think sharing the gift to pay the cost is her sharing all of her magic to pay the cost for them to all be free.
I mean, that makes very much a lot of sense. I also want to point out that never in all of the previous chapters has Teller's hair being red been mentioned so much.
Oh, is his hair red?
Is his hair red
Oh,
too?
his
Just
hair
like
is
his
red.
mom?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd know that auburn hair anywhere. Like, that's what DM says several
Yeah.
times
And look,
in
folks,
the
if
libraries.
there's hair color mentioned,
Yep.
Jenna's gonna catch it.
High
She might
or
not
high
be
color.
right, but she'll catch it.
I am going to catch it and possibly be wrong. So just...
I keep waiting for him to have like some dormant power.
I mean, there's like the spark mentioned that I don't know.
They're direct descendants of the Everflame Keeper.
They have
It
to
has,
be.
yeah, they have to be. Well, I'm not going to mention the second point because I feel like you just touched on it. I feel like that was a great way of covering kind of what the theories were behind the prophecy broken out in that way. If
DM's
that's
dying.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I do think it's a sacrifice. I'm hoping it's not just her,
And then
again, like we said last episode, just giving out all her power and then the kindred coming back and being like, here's a drop for me, and we'll revive you so you can have a happy ever after with
Or-
our favorite prince, Luther.
Or does all magic just go away? Like, and then they're all kind of powerless. One thing that I thought about is the kindred came to this land and the tree was already there. So they're not from this land. So
Yeah.
did they realize their mistake and like how horrible they made this land? And it's like the old gods and the kindred working together to make it right. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I foresee it.
the whole thing is about balance. Like, they're trying to achieve balance.
Yeah.
And that's why they're giving all their power to DM and putting all their trust in her so
Yeah.
that she can achieve that balance.
And I think that's because none of the others are alive and she's his blood. So that's their best hope of fighting him or
She is the balance. She's half Everflame tree descendant and half
Yeah.
this descended. Descended.
Kindred,
I think she's half kindred.
She's
kindred,
descended.
descended, and Everflame baby.
Yeah. When a tree and a descended have a baby.
How is she half descended?
Because she wouldn't be kindred. Her dad would be kindred, so she would be
She
descended.
would be descended because
Yeah.
she's half mortal.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm not sure.
Did you figure out what you needed? Yeah.
I just remembered that Lumnos, when she gave DM her prophecy,
Mhm.
she does say something about giving her gift to her most faithful follower, which I think is
Yes.
Luther. And I think that that's going to be somehow like sharing the spark. That I think that those two tie in.
Okay.
Okay.
Like for that battle specifically?
Whatever, I can't remember the exact quote, but she does tell DM when the time comes and whatever happens, like share my gift with my most loyal follower, which I think is Luther.
I do
Which
too.
you have questioned and thought maybe it was the kindred dude. You thought that maybe he was the follower she was talking about.
Yeah, because we don't know which voice that is that's talking through. We assume it's Lumnos, but there's so many voices. There's even one mentioned in a couple chapters where she's like, it's ancient and foreign at the same time. And it's not like one of the other voices that's spoken through her. So I think it's the tree, but we'll get to that.
Chapter 62. Luther takes a stunned Diem and her mother and runs by horseback. They are stopped at the mountain pass so they can turn and flee towards Sophos. They find an enclave to set up for the night, no signs of guardians or her father chasing them. Knowing they need some space to talk, Luther leaves to go gather firewood. Asking for the truth, Arlie recounts how she used to spy for the crowns. She had begun to spy on the guardians for the crowns, but started to align with their beliefs and help them as well. When the Fortos king asked her for a mission, he told her he would take her to Coriel for 1 year. She was to remain hidden and spy to find any information. Arlie believed he thought the crown was helping the guardians. He led her there on Forging Day and would return for her 1 year later on Forging Day. While on the island, she began exploring and found a door covered in vines. She asked out if anyone was there, and a reply came from a weakened man, Ophiachi. He claimed he...
I call him Fucky.
Oh,
my God.
Are you going to use that every time his name comes up?
Probably that
I
or
love it.
DM's daddy because it's just not, it's a fake name.
He claimed he'd been locked away for helping the rebels against the Descended. She began visiting him and helping him. They became close, and she started falling for him. After a few weeks, she became pregnant. At first, he was elated at the pregnancy. As time went on, he became obsessive and violent, not wanting Arlie to leave his sight. The stress pushed Arlie into early labor, and on the blood moon, she prayed to the old gods to help them. Once Diem was born, he became his old caring self. Once Arlie had healed and rested enough, he told her to go get some fresh air and go for a walk. He would take care of their sleeping baby. But as soon as Arlie started to walk out, she had a bad feeling and returned to find Ophiachi raising a godstone blade above little baby Diem's heart. He claimed he needed her blood to unchain him. They broke out into a fight with Arlie grabbing the blade from him and him grabbing the baby. She stabbed him with the godstone blade, believing she had killed him. She told the Fortos king that she didn't realize she was pregnant before leaving to come to Coriel, and that's how she met her birth father. Andre never knew and never asked, since they both had secrets they couldn't discuss from their time in the army. Diem believes he was right about her blood being the key. At the Forging Day temple, there was a stone, and when her blood was spilled over it, it cracked, and she believed that's what released him. Confronting her mom for all the lies she told and secrets she kept because Diem trusted her and didn't ask more questions, Diem storms off into the forest.
That part made me so angry at the mom being like, oh, you didn't even want to know. Like, you
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
put all this
yeah.
blame on me because you didn't want to know. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're going to sit here and blame me, the child, going through this and trusting your authority as my parent to do what's right and tell me the truth? That set me off.
That's
You
called
can-
gaslighting.
Yes, exactly. You can have a gut feeling that maybe you have questions that aren't answered, but the reality is you blindly trust your parents until proven otherwise. And that's a big parenting
That's
rule right
so
there.
true.
It's
and-
also called blaming the victim.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like, that was just wild to me that she said that.
I just love the time for secrets is over, and I'm like, pretty sure you keep a secret the next chapter, or
Yeah.
Literally.
what series is it where it's like, I'll tell you stuff. Oh, fourth wing spoiler. What's his face? Zayden doesn't tell her things unless she specifically asks.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me. Would never be in a relationship like that. Also, they just left one of the horses to die because it says Luther and her
Yeah.
get on one horse and they leave DMs behind.
Where did the horses come from in the first place?
All I know is that I hope she used
Fanos.
Faunus's magic and was like, you need to run.
You need to
Get
get
the fuck out of here.
You are not going to want to stay.
I don't know. I don't know where they came from or where they went.
Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
That's what I was gonna say. I was going to be like, they must have been named Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
That the mother saying that kind of stuff, just like my face was red. I was so mad, I think.
The last chapter like that we talked about, I think you were like, I think that she was an assassin. I
Oh
don't
my
think she was a
God,
healer.
that
And
was
then
so dumb.
and then the next chapter it's like, well, she wasn't just a healer, she was a spy. But it's
Mhm.
just so funny when we do that, when it's like we have this whole time we've been like, what is her dad? Is he a forgotten descendant? And it's like in these next chapters, it's literally like her dad is the forgotten. It's like we don't need to film. We don't even need theories because
No.
it's in the book.
But it's been like over a year since we read it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like we're reading it for the first time again. We're picking up
All
on
new.
clues we definitely didn't the first
I
time.
do
Yeah.
think she has assassin abilities as a spy.
Well,
though.
yeah.
So I'm not going to concede that I was totally wrong.
You weren't totally wrong, but I don't know if I would label it theory.
No, it's
No, not
for
at this
sure
point.
not a theory. The
Not
only
when it's confirmed.
The only theory that stands from the last episode that I led was that Arlie might be some queen or like descendant of the
Yeah.
Everflame dude.
And you said
the
she
red
was like
hair.
the
She's a
half
tree baby.
mortal, queen or
She's
a
Well,
little
I don't think
descendant
I think
blood.
she's full mortal. I just think that she has ties to the first Everflame guy.
Yeah,
With
she's
the red
considered
hair.
a twig.
She's a branch.
If you're a descendant of the Everflame tree, or they're a twig or a branch.
There's leaves too.
Oh, don't get me started on the caterpillars. I also thought it was super funny how DM is like, looking in and she's like, so this is how I came into the world, not as a summer romance or a drunken fling, but a tryst in an underground a tryst.
Tryst, I
Yes.
think.
But
Yeah.
a tryst in an underground prison between an army spy / assassin and a man so dangerous the crowns had locked him up where they thought he'd never be found.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, DM. I mean, you
Yeah,
summed that up.
there it is.
There you go. Sorry.
Little
Does that answer
rebel
all the
baby.
questions of your life?
And Jenna said earlier, I agree. I don't think he was going to kill her. I think he just wanted to be free.
Yeah, I do too. I
really,
think he needs her.
I really do think he was just going to use her blood there.
Yeah.
But I mean, mother's instincts are like, the fuck are you doing
And
with my
she's
child?
postpartum. Her
Yeah.
hormones are everywhere. She is on high alert for any threat on that island.
Yeah.
So, if I had just given birth not too long ago, one, without an epidural, wow, good job, Arlie. You did great. Natural birth, can't imagine in a cave or a temple. But also just like looking and seeing a knife over your baby's heart, you're probably like, yeah, I'd be stabbing someone in the heart too.
You're going to die, bud.
You're going to die
Yeah.
and it's not going to be good. I'm going to twist it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, for sure. I think she was justified. I also think that maybe she could have listened to him instead of just immediately labeling his words as psychobabble.
Maybe, but also I will admit I don't have the best train of thought when I am postpartum.
But he
not
was
good at
like
reasoning.
saying this the whole time. I mean,
During her
Granted, there
pregnancy.
is pregnancy hormones to fight with as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So
Prepartum, postpartum, middle
it's all-
partum.
all of the partums
All the
are
partums.
All the
pardoned.
partums.
Yeah. What does partum just mean? Pregnant? Or, yeah, right? It has to. If you're,
Don't even ask.
Postpartum, prepartum.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I've actually
guess.
never heard the term prepartum.
I don't
No, I don't think that's a
Or
word.
middle partum.
I think you made
I'm not a
those up.
doctor.
Not a doctor. I just feel like there was time for them to have discussions in between their wild, sexy nights in the dungeon temple
Possibly.
where they could have, he could have opened up and she could have just been like, oh, okay, there are kindred that were here and like, I'm fine with you telling me this history that I don't know, instead of being like, no, you're crazy and I don't want to be around you.
He had to be a
It-
smooth talker to get Arlie Bellator to drop her pants for him.
Listen, it goes back to my theory that he knew who she was, and that's why he didn't reveal everything.
If
It's
he
because
is-
he was wanting to use the power of both of their bloods combined
It's a good
for
theory.
his own favor.
Because if he is the original kindred, then he did know. Because he
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
to have been there with the destroying of the tree. He killed her daddy.
Yeah,
Wait.
honestly, there you
And then he
go.
hooks up with her. That's wild. That's wild. Chapter 63.
All right.
That's some Game of Thrones shit right there.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if you're right and he really did know who she was and
I'm-
like had.
I'm almost positive
He
he
said
has
that
to
red
know.
hair. I'd know it
Yeah.
anywhere. Your
And-
father, same one.
And it's kind of weird that the Fortos King sent Arlie specifically there.
But he wouldn't have been an original.
No, and he's dumb. We know. So
We think.
No, we know. So I was just thinking maybe he was like controlled into doing that.
I think it's weird that he didn't say or he didn't think that she wasn't going to go looking at things. She's stuck on an island for a year. She's going to know every in and out of that island.
I don't think that he
He
I
didn't
think
have the
that
foresight because he's so stupid.
he don't got nothing between his
Yeah.
eyes. Or ears. What's the saying?
Between his,
Between his ears, I think.
Ears.
Yeah.
well, it's also between the eyes, maybe, depending on the size.
Back and forth. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway,
Carry on,
Chapter
Adriana.
63. Diem storms off into the forest and finds Luther leaning up against a tree.
Ow, ow.
Diem feels terrible for not being able to tell Luther of what she learned during her conversation with her mother, even after they promised each other nothing but honesty. But Luther only tells her that it doesn't change how he feels for her, that he knows that she wouldn't keep something from him unless it was important. She begs him for a distraction. In the middle of their heated little moment, Arlie comes rushing at Luther, yelling at him to get away from her daughter.
Their finger bang.
oh,
Diem
man.
and Luther both tell her the truth about their relationship. I don't feel like you have another choice there, but even with Arlie still believing Luther is only after Diem for the crown and to get back at her, it finally breaks the remaining brick holding Diem's wall up. She unleashes a year's worth of pent-up fury, explaining to her all that she went through while Arlie was away, again choosing the Guardians over family, what it cost them, how they will never be the same, the sacrifices that they had to make, all while Luther did everything to be there for them and make them feel like they still had a piece of family even within their walls. Arlie agrees to keep an open mind about their relationship, and they all three walk back to the campfire to start over. I know I summed that up a little bit versus like the actual intensity of that conversation that happened, but
No,
it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Like their conversations needed to happen. I know that Luther and Diem were waiting to tell her, but she's a mom. She has eyes. She knows what's going on, but she doesn't trust Luther the entire time. And it's like what you mentioned last episode, where you're frustrating that she's just willing to like sacrifice him at every turn because he's descended. Not
Yeah.
remembering, oh shit, my daughter is too.
This conversation should have happened a lot earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
They shouldn't have
sure.
taken this.
And then also, if I was Diem and my mother was still treating me like I was so stupid and naive, not
Yeah.
able to make decisions for myself, I would have snapped even more than Diem did. Like, how dare you, one, make me this naive on purpose?
Yeah.
Then two, once I'm not like that, still count me as this little girl that knows nothing about the world.
And if I was Luther, I would eventually snap at DM for thinking, we vowed honesty and then you're going to keep secrets from me.
Oh, that part made me roll my eyes in the book and just when you went over it again. Seriously,
Yes.
DM? Like, yeah, Arlie and you have these little like secrets between yourself now about your birth father. Sure. But there's no reason and nothing that would keep me from telling that to my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
what, you lied to your mom, you're going to tell one person.
It's
like you're
Luther who's never going to break this between us.
No.
Well, and
It's
he's
just
never shown any reason to not trust him even up to this point. You guys have been working together all along. Like him, I think he just said what he said. And if I was like thinking as like a partner, just to like ease her guilt of feeling like she couldn't betray her mom's trust. But the reality is like, I'd be like, you can still trust me. I ain't going to tell her I know.
No, I'm being
Yeah.
honest with you. I'm saying, like, if you think you can keep secrets from me in this relationship, then this relationship isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Luther isn't at fault here for saying it's
No.
okay, DM. It's DM that's at fault saying, I'm still going to keep this from you, even though I want brutal honesty between us. I don't get that.
What a crazy catapult for this conversation to finally happen.
I love
Ew. I would be
Yeah.
so freaked out too. Like,
Wouldn't be able to have the serious conversation with your mom.
like, I'm on the edge. Can you go for a second?
Yeah.
It's like an ice bucket of cold water though.
I need to
hitting
go.
you.
Yeah, I need to go lay in the creek for
Yeah.
a second before I have this conversation.
But I do like that she calls her out for putting the guardians above the family. And I like that she starts it out by saying, the house that you built around lies.
Mhm.
And then you set ablaze and walked away.
Yeah.
Like I was there to have to pick up the pieces.
with
my
no
father-
knowledge.
yeah,
You're
With
not
no
a
knowledge.
good mother.
You're not.
You may do things that our good mother like, but as a whole, in this moment and many others, you are not rated 10 out of 10.
No.
You're supposed to set your children up to prosper and be better than you. And you set your child up to not know anything about the real world and just
fail.
live under a rock in mortal city
Yep.
and fail. And that's just not how parenthood's supposed to go.
Yep.
But I will say once they like talk, I didn't realize like what kind of night that they spent around the fire, like actually bonding and like Arlie, I think she did hit a turning point. And I do think that people should be allowed to hit that turning point. Like
There should be redemption if you haven't gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I
I-
do think there's a strong line, which I will draw in the sand and be the judge of.
I did highlight something that I thought was really sweet that DM is mentioning about Luther. And I think it's when she's like trying to convince her mom that he's still a good person and that she knows him better than Arlie did in all the years she worked with him. She says, he challenges me without trying to change me, and he sees me in a way no one ever has. When I'm with him, I feel safe and cherished and loved. And it just reminds me that she didn't feel that fully with her mother. Maybe not necessarily both her parents, because she did feel loved by them, but that sense of safety and then knowing that her parents both loved each other. Now she has found that within her partner, and she hopes to have an open, honest communication and that type of what am I trying to say? Like the bond of a relationship where you both can equally put in.
Yeah. I also think DM was missing, like growing up in her home life, she was missing being accepted fully. Because she felt like there was part of her that was crazy that she had to take medicine for that nobody was accepting of.
She had
So
to
the fact
hide.
that Luther is the first person to ever see all of her truly and accept it, I think is awesome.
Chapter 64. Headed towards the Sophos border, there's a regained pleasantness to their group after the heart-to-heart they had the night before around the fire. All their secrets laid bare. They leave Arlie with the guardians hidden amongst the tree line. She will warn them of Ophia Kai having an ulterior motive. Diem isn't afraid of speaking with the Sophos crown for the crimes against her. She wants to convince them to gather again on the island and finish her coronation. But even Arlie believes maybe she is supposed to take all their crowns. Diem's magic answers to that statement. Arlie informs them that the Arbos crown has been helping the Guardians for a long time, and that her imprisonment by them must have been a farce to not let the other crowns know, but that she is like Diem and is a half-mortal, half-descended crown, and promised her mortal father on his deathbed that she would help his people as much as she could. Before Arlie leaves, she wants a word with Luther. She asks him why he loves Diem. Luther explains it's her heart, her kindness, selfishness, and the lengths she'll go to help those in need. Arlie welcomes him into their family and gives her blessing. Diem, in a private word with her mother, reminds her that he is also a half-mortal and that he never knew his mother and always felt hated by his father. He needs her too. Arlie agrees that they are now family. Diem is ready to set foot in Sophos and finish what she started. No more running.
I don't know that Arlie's the mother that Luther is missing. Maybe.
Maybe she can be. I mean,
Maybe she
Andre
can-
tried to be a father to him in
Maybe.
a little bit of a sense.
You think?
I
A
thought he
father
did.
to Luther?
Like a fatherly, maybe not a fatherly figure, but I felt like they had a good bond.
I mean, for the
He-
5 seconds they knew each other, for sure.
But he didn't know, and Diem and Luther hadn't really admitted to themselves that they were a thing yet.
No, I do think he's realized that Henry was not quite in the picture, though.
Oh, for sure.
Only
On-
after he
yeah.
offered up her hand in marriage.
yeah,
Yeah.
not to have her on Paradise Row.
Yeah.
And then we all know he's the one who, like,
Oh, we think Henry killed Andre.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. I'm still wanting that confirmation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in my chapters
Mhm.
since we have the murder weapon.
Yeah.
We're going to do some sleuthing.
I said her magic answers to what her mother said about her needing to kill the other crowns and take their realm too. She says, in quote, or maybe you need to kill the other 5 crowns and take their realms too. My godhood hummed eagerly at her words. So I think we all know that's hinting at what she needs to do. I think she should know that by now, as many crowns as she's already taken.
Yeah, her godhood is evil at times.
Well,
It can be.
but Arlie's just also still so accepting of descended death.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not what Diem wants to do. She would rather be able to talk to the crowns and them agree with her rather than them die and her absorb the crown.
I do think it was interesting that we find out that the Queen of Arboros is a half-mortal crown as well. And Luther's like, oh, we found our first ally. And I'm like, Luther, that could be a point. But at the same time, if she's only helping mortals, then she's not completely after what Diem wants, which is harmony between everyone.
Well, she's definitely not an ally at the end of the book.
I can't believe that she's accepted by all the other crowns and they've given Diem so much shit about being half mortal.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, I
that-
don't
But I don't
think
think
the
they
other
know.
crowns know.
Yeah, I don't think they know about Arboros.
That's so frustrating.
I think it's only revealed because they know. For one, they see her crown, they see her eyes. They when what was it supposed to light up behind her? The blue for Lumnos, and it didn't. It did gray like her eyes. What was that again? Like I'm
not sure, but the Arboros queen, I think they were accepting of her because they did not know that she was half mortal. I think only Arlie knows because she is leader of the Guardians and they've talked.
and working
And
with
she
them.
killed her dad.
Because the truth is, there is no reason why the Descended would accept her if they knew that she was half mortal. They
Okay.
wouldn't
That's
have.
fair.
Okay. Well, I was just kind of frustrated about that.
Yeah.
Like Diem is getting so much crap thrown in her face about being half mortal and all of this stuff that she's having to deal with by everybody around her. And then the Arboros Queen's just been sitting here with a crown half mortal for how many decades?
Yeah, I don't like her.
Chapter 65. That first day, Diem felt the magic of Sophos enter her body. Like all the realms, Sophos' magic was twofold in nature. Some were graced with the power of spark, a buzzing, electrifying current that gave power to many of its cutting-edge inventions. Others claimed the power of thought, an ability to memorize everything they'd seen, heard, or read, turning their head into a trove from which they could recall even the tiniest of detail with ease. By day 3, Diem has mastered enough control of Sophos' powers to be able to journey further into the capital of the city. They found a temple and entered it against the guard's wishes, knowing this would immediately notify the crown. While in there, they saw the same painting as she had back in Umbrose's palace. A man with vibrant red hair leaning against a tree, crouched beside it for a closer look. Diem tells Luther she believes this is the Everflame, but she wonders who this man was. Jokingly, Luther says, with hair like that, he must be related to your mother. Noted. Diem asks if Luther was taught anything about the Everflame in the Descended school. Only that the mortal leaders gave the island to the kindred as a gift. That's why depictions of the Everflame weren't banned before the war. It was meant to be a symbol of the mortals' willing submission to Descended rule. After having read the Matios journal, Diem snorts, stating they would have known better, that even in the journal entries from back then, there were mortals who didn't want them around. In the journal, she mentioned being afraid of their youngest sibling. But it's Luther that informs her that Fortos was the youngest brother, but actually Montios was the youngest kindred. That can't be right. Who are they not mentioning? They both hear a loud roaring of a machine, creating a bridge over the barrier, and in walks the Sophos crown, asking if she is there to turn herself in. Diem claims she's there to offer a trade, her crown for her sword. Talking with the Sophos crown Doriel, Diem informs them of all that has happened since the coronation. Everything except the new crown she's inherited. When mentioning her sire, she shows that she can absorb any magic thrown her way and believes he can too. She is the answer to defeating him. In exchange, she wants the crown's votes to finalize her coronation and defeat her father before he does any further damage. Diem, with her new magic, can tell when Doriel is lying up to her about not having any information on her birth father. Sophos wants a few days to do some research, and in the meantime, she will be their guest and have crown access to their archives. Both Luther and Diem keep sensing a powerful aura nearby, but can't figure out where and who it's coming from.
Oh.
Aside from Doriel, but there's definitely someone powerful nearby. While being escorted around, she runs into Perth and finds her brother Teller has accepted an invitation to study in Sophos. Henry had told her that those that accepted the invitation never returned, that many that dedicated their life to research ended up dying in some of their studies, and now she finds Teller here after she tried to keep him away.
So when they were like 10 feet away from him, shooting him with a bow and arrow of shadow, they didn't sense his aura then. They couldn't recognize that same aura.
Let's just say that that's how they found them in the middle of the woods. That's how they were able to creep up on him.
Was
And it
from
just
his
was-
aura.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, so then here, how are they like, I feel an aura, but it's not Dorel or Doriel or Dora. Like,
Dora the Explorer.
I think it's because he can dampen. Like when he's upset, I think he's upset, and so it's just full out coming up, full flame. Versus,
it might be because they're sensing like the shield that he's put around the mortals.
oh yeah,
Because
as they're coming into the city.
Because he's supposed to be like further back.
apparently, anytime someone's on a Griven, they can see him from 100 miles away, yet 2 feet away at the same time.
It doesn't make sense that they don't recognize whose aura it is. And it doesn't make sense that they don't understand that there's a Griver and it's not Sophos.
I just felt like if she can sense Luther's aura walking in the room, then the one that her blood literally calls to, she might be able to know exactly and point that out.
It should be recognizable. I
Okay.
agree.
I'm just saying. And that
It should have been obvious because it was clearly not Doriel. It was clearly not just Luther or
suck a
Diem.
I don't like them. Who? What?
You don't like them?
No.
They're a sneaky snake.
They are a sneaky, slithering snake.
I
mean,
think they're
just
naive to the fact that this would happen. So I feel like they're kind of gluttonous on the fact that, oh, we have all the knowledge in the world and we're just focused on research. And so great, I have no army of men that can actually defend my city, and I've casted out all the mortals that could possibly be in an army or be useful to me.
Each crown falls into the same issue that every other one does, and that's they're so divided by their realms that they only care about their realm the most. So they're gonna fall into the trap every single time because they're all doing the same thing. Even though this one is supposed to be the smartest, they're still falling into the same mistake as all the other crowns.
Well, Sophos is also so cocky because they think they have all the knowledge.
Yeah.
They have all the knowledge at their fingertips. They're going to be the ones to survive. They know everything. When they don't know what kind of kindred they're up against or descended, whatever it is, and they don't realize that they actually need DM. And DM is sitting there being like, you absolutely need me.
Yeah.
You don't understand what this person is capable of.
Sophos might be my least favorite. But also Sophos might have the one of the powers that I would least want. And that is to remember everything that's ever happened to me in great detail.
That is so creepy. Like,
I don't like it.
I feel like that would
Especially-
only work for studying. Like, I just want to absorb it with one glance, or like,
Yeah, but
some-
only in reading. Imagine every trauma in your life and you
Oh,
can pull it
yeah.
up like a video camera.
yeah, no.
and it happens in like retroactivity.
Yeah.
It's DM gets the power and then she has to literally relive her entire life, everything she's read, everything she's ever gone through, realizing things that went whoop, right over her head at
Yeah.
the time of them happening.
I'd say I have the opposite of this power when I read. I just did in one ear, out the other. Is there a power where you forget a lot? Because that's me.
That's me.
I am the forgotten.
Yeah.
Especially as much as we read, I feel like there's just no way we could remember it all.
No, it'd be impressive. It'd be almost like a Sophos power or something.
The one we don't want.
Yes.
I seriously think it's solidified that the redheads are connected to the Everflame right
Yes.
here.
Uh,
Okay.
oh,
you
yeah.
I
can't-
didn't know we were debating that. I thought we were just debating on if the redheads are connected to Arlie and Teller.
Well, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think is solidified.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that the redheads in general are just connected to the tree. I'm like,
No.
well, yeah, they're in front of it. They're leaning against it and for some reason covering their face. Is that her mom in all the paintings? Is she a he? I don't know.
Is
Or
it what
he the
Teller
she?
looks like?
I feel like once we get an image of I don't even know what to call him. The keeper of the tree, the twig, the branch. Once we get an image of that, it's going to be like, and the resemblance was just uncanny.
I think it's going to look exactly like Teller.
Yeah.
You think
It-
Teller will
I
be
think it's
the-
going to look
You
exactly
think Teller will
like
be able to tell?
Will he tell DM?
I'm here for it. I want some confirmation finally, because we keep seeing that painting everywhere from their descended history, but nothing of any consequence comes of it because it's the Everflame and no mention is
Yeah.
ever found. But
That's all I have for that chapter. I don't have anything highlighted other than
Okay.
just my hatred for Sophos.
no, that's fair. Chapter 66. Finally, a conversation with Teller, and boy, is he upset. He knows that DM kept from him an invitation to study in Sophos. He knows his mother was a leader of a rebel group, and Remus asked Doriel for an exception for him to come study. He and Lily are done. He wants her to move on, and Remus made him believe it was a love doomed from the beginning. DM informs him of all that she thought was true from what she heard from Henry and the Guardians regarding those that visited and did research in Sophos, but finds out from Teller that that was a lie, that thieves were targeting families of those who accepted the invitation because they knew they were paid well and sent money back home, so they made up rumors to make it seem like they died. Those that did die in experiments were volunteers, wanting to do more for the realm and help research improve lives. DM and Teller have a heart-to-heart moment and all is forgiven. Then Teller notices DM's neck is glowing. The symbol of the 5-pointed star is burning hot. Ophiuchi is coming.
I thought it was 10-pointed.
It is.
It is. Let me rewrite that. 10. You're right. It is 10. I don't know why I wrote 5.
It's not the demon star. It's the other.
Damn it.
I don't think Remus is the evil person in this chapter, that DM is like so upset that he talked Teller into this. I think
No.
Teller saw some reason in what Regent Remus was saying, and that he looked at it very logically and was like, I can go be of use in Sophos. I can do what my dream is and learn. And Lily should be able to be with someone who she gets to share her life with and not cause her pain.
The truth is their relationship is doomed from the beginning. It's just, do
It
you want to
is.
face that doom together or
Yeah.
do you not? To doom or to not doom?
Do you choose love or do you choose logic? Which one are you going for?
I will choose love 10 out of 10 times.
Oh,
Logic,
yeah.
push to the side.
No.
I do that every day.
Anybody can find logic.
Yeah, not all can find love.
I do agree. I don't think Remus is a great guy, but like he keeps telling them, I do believe, I don't think he is their enemy. I think he is trying to work his way of the behind the curtain scenes for Diem and kind of Luther in a sense without really admitting it. But
Lily aside, this is the best case scenario for Teller.
Yeah,
so
I
like
think him
he
coming to
is doing
Sophos
what
was.
is best for Teller. It's unfortunate that that doesn't involve Lily, and it's just it's just an unfortunate
What?
ending. But that's what he's choosing in this moment.
like, I don't think Remus had the foresight that they were going to end up in Sophos necessarily, Diem,
No.
Luther, and her
Mm-mm.
mom. But
Mm-mm.
I guess her mom's not there with her. But I do believe that, like you said, that sending him was the best option. I just think it was a coincidence that they kind of found each other.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, I don't think there was any planning in that. I think he obviously was listening to Diem's threats
Yeah.
because he sends Perth with her,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and so, or with Teller.
Mhm.
Oh,
About her still believing Henry.
yeah, but also at the same time, she's got to be like, I don't trust anybody. Descended are spreading lies about mortals, and mortals are spreading lies about Descended, and every lie has a bit of truth. Like,
Right.
you know, Henry was wrong about them dying and being like captive, but they are kind of like, hey, if you basically commit suicide, your family will get $1 billion.
Yeah,
That-
it's not good. And
No.
so she does confront
Yes.
Sophos with it, and they don't deny it because they know the truth that what's happening is still pretty bad,
Yeah.
not a good thing. However, it is kind of more acceptable than just experimenting on them without consent and killing
Right.
them.
It's a middle ground. It wasn't as
It's-
bad as Henry's, but it's not as good as like, oh, they're equal to us.
Yeah.
You know?
And
It-
Sophos does feel guilty
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I think it's equivalent to us signing a waiver when we do drug trials here, because we are trying to further and advance medicine. We are trying to further and advance humanity's
Science.
survival in a
Mhm.
sense, from everything that there is out there. But the reality is she is confronting Sophos for the wrong portions of it, where if maybe they don't feel they have a choice. But when Teller explains to her that they are compensated for their trial, they feel like they are doing something heroic. It's like the balance of that terrible situation, I guess. But I feel
Yeah.
like at the same time, it's equivalent. That's the best I can find, is that like it's kind of like our drug trials or something in that sense, where you sign up because you're saying, I'm okay to use my body in this sense. I want to see if this can prevent any, let's say, disease or what they can find from this science.
Which makes me super curious on what they're like testing out on the mortals.
Is it
to
Godstone?
figure out what
It's
is
anything
going
and
on.
everything, probably.
Yeah, I think it's a combination
Yeah.
too. But I do think Godstone is a
And-
big one that, what is it, Stuart, the little
Stuart Little.
Stuart Little that he mentions that they have in
Oh, I
like, the
love
research
Stuart.
labs.
I think
And
he's hilarious.
We know they're testing out their blood because they don't understand how Descended's like blood can always kick out the mortals, but the mortals can't kick out the Descended.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
talked about at the very
well,
beginning.
the
of
Descended kick
series.
out their
I forgot
own.
about that.
Yeah,
So,
the
like,
stronger one kicks out the
Yeah.
other.
wh-
Yeah.
Anybody that mates with an Umbros becomes an Umbros.
So they're studying blood. This book has a lot to do about blood.
It really does.
I bet the bloody 10-point star that's now shining a bright light out of her freaking neck.
Yeah.
I just when you said
gruesome.
carved, that's awful. I pictured it as like it was like burned into her skin. But even when like the next chapter with the battle and like she sees it even on the mortal soldiers or the guardians that are now fighting with him, it's like, yeah, I've claimed you. I've carved my symbol into you so that I can recognize you and those surrounding you
You
can
know when
recognize
Harry
you.
Potter is in detention and he's,
Oh,
I will not
yes.
tell lies, and it etches in the back of his hand?
Yeah.
That's the
That's what you
star,
picture?
but on the throat.
All I picture is like, you know how
Gross.
you used to carve stuff into your desk at school and then you would take your pencil lead and like draw inside the carving and it was like shiny and bright.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing. Like in her neck, it's the carving and then the like shiny coming out of it.
Ugh.
Ugh. I don't like it.
I'd much rather just the crown appearing and something else popping up on it, as we've been every part of this series just gaining.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 67, the Battle of Sophos. He's coming, and his army of guardians have lined the city borders. I feel for them because in this chapter, Sophos, like we've mentioned, is not prepared for war. They are not fighters. They are more scholars than ever. But we see even Diem finally show all of her power, all the crowns that she wears, and Doriel finally realizing that I either have to work together with you or my realm is the one to be sacrificed. And so it's this battle ensuing against the army that he's brought. And lo and behold, he turns to her and just says, this is not basically how I expected our meeting to go, or how when I called you, this is not what I expected. So I think Daddy's pissed.
Mm.
And a few things to note is one, he's protecting all of the mortals with a
Yep.
shield. Diem has the hindsight to ask to go get all of the Godstone. No,
Yeah, any of
Godstone
the
blades.
yeah,
or
Godstone
Bartosian.
blades.
That they can find.
Yeah. And we see Vance again, obviously, fighting amongst them.
Which then is this the chapter that we find out what he did? Or
No,
Not
okay.
yet.
Next.
Mm-mm.
The start of mine.
This one was basically just the battle of the mortals, like lining up, coming in, her using her, is it Phanos magic to be able to speak with the animals
Yeah.
and kind of like,
tell him to run away.
Yep.
Yeah.
basically
And
bury
all
them.
all of the
Yeah.
Sophos people, the mortals and descendant, are picking up on what Diem is because they're all very intelligent. They're scholars.
They mention his Gryvern, and I didn't note this, but I wondered if any of you guys picked up on it, like how he's so much larger than
He's
the ones
over-
that they have, and like he's dark, just like kind of the aura he puts out. And
Wait,
he's got,
pause.
go ahead.
Which Gryvern?
The fathers.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Not
I was thinking about
Doriel.
Doriel's,
not
the
Doriel's.
Sophos Gryvern, and I was like, guess he's overweight.
Yeah, he's fat, lazy.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Because he's never seen battle a day in his life.
Yep. And that's kind of how I feel like our people are too.
Yeah, the Gryvern's got something in its blood to make it crazy.
Yeah, there's something about, I guess it just makes me question, like, where has he been this whole time? If
Well-
like he was locked away, like when did he find him? Like was he like, hey, I'm out, I'm
Oh,
free,
yeah.
come
I
back
mean,
to
they
me.
have the
Somewhere on
bond.
Continental. But I'll say this, and maybe this just transitions to fan theories, but so Diem's dad, let's just say he is a kindred, is supposed to be the youngest kindred sibling.
Mhm.
But yet he has a 10-point star as his crown, as his symbol. There's 10 of them. He has
Yeah.
all 10 powers. Is he the youngest sibling? Is there more to that story? Like, is he actually the father of all of them to be able to have all of the power? Like, how
We
did
don't
the
know.
youngest sibling
Well,
get all the power?
you
Or is
know,
he just showing he's the 10th one?
in the
Yeah, that's true.
in the stories, all of fantasy stories, there is usually, even if there's multiple children, there's one that inherits all of the powers. And then the other children get jealous and try and kill him or try and take it.
The most powerful of them, basically.
I just had a weird thought.
I wonder if it's also showing because technically if you ignore Diem having all of their magic, he is the last of, let's say, his line, whether he's father, whether he's brother. And so what if it's more like I am the 10th? Okay, so what if it's a combination? What if I am the 10th sibling, but what if also I hold the only remaining kindred power, let's say? So my crown is reflecting and my magic is reflecting all that was basically taken from me or taken.
Well,
Does that make sense?
he didn't do what the other kindred did. he didn't give away his immortality for someone else. Like, they all made a sacrifice where they gave away their immortality and they bound their Gryverns
Yeah.
to the crown and they did all of this stuff, and he didn't participate in that.
Yet another reason why he would be the original kindred.
He would be the original kindred. I don't think he's the father, though. I do think he was a true sibling that came with them. I just think that he was the one. Siblings inherit different things, and I think he inherited the most powerful from his parents.
Yeah, which is a bummer because he's obviously the most evil.
Well, and the prophecy says, beware my brother's wrath. And the
Yeah.
wrath is definitely evident because of what they did to him.
Yeah.
But we just don't know why. Other than like a theory of, was it because he was the most powerful? Did they know
Yeah.
he was
what
just
made
out for
him
destruction?
evil from the get-go?
Yeah.
Because obviously being locked away for centuries was a cherry on top, but it wasn't the ice cream.
Because when they were, the Montios journal talks about when they escaped, they were very scared about the fact that their youngest sibling enjoyed what was happening in their homeland too much. So he's different, and he's been different from the beginning.
I was just
What-
curious who would know, other than the kindred itself, that if they imprisoned Data, but they also, by doing that, like, think of Sarai, imprisoned his Gryvern. Could they be experimenting on the Gryvern this whole time? Any of her
No,
descended?
it says it goes missing. They say that they try to capture it, but it
that
goes
he
missing.
disappears. Okay.
Yeah, they
And
don't capture it
I didn't remember
successfully.
that. So I didn't know if there was like some aspect of Sophos not wanting to admit that maybe they had
Well,
experimented with him.
also remember when Diem got to talk to Sarai, she found out that the Gryvern followed them willingly and out of loyalty and love. And then the other kindred bound theirs, and
Mhm.
the Gryvern felt betrayed by that. I doubt that this dude did that.
Although I am curious, what do you mean all the missing children?
So I just wrote that because all of a sudden I was thinking, like, you know how Diem mentions constantly that he's doing harm, he's killing people and stuff. And so in my mind, while I was reading that, I just kept thinking of him destroying the world in a sense, but also working with the Guardians now. But I also, in this random chapter, she mentions like all the missing children and all the missing individuals.
Because they're taking the kids. Their kids' corpses aren't being found along with the adults.
So where?
I think they're taking them and like doing an indoctrination on
Back
them.
to their realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Thanos would take the children.
Okay, I was just
And-
curious where that was coming from, and so I didn't know how that led back to
I don't
her
think they're-
father.
I don't think they're killing the kids. I think they're taking them and then they're going to be brainwashed.
Yeah.
So the Guardians are for their rebel group, basically their cause. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. I just wanted to like have that conversation with you guys, book club wise, because
Yeah.
I feel like that was just something I missed, and I couldn't wrap my head around why they were. In my mind, I thought they were still tying it to her father, like doing something with them.
Well, yeah, he's kidnapping them and
Yeah.
brainwashing them.
You're
It's not
gone.
good.
You're gone.
It is. It's a lot of trauma, is what it is.
For the spotlight, we just want to mention our charity that we're raising money for is Races, and they help immigrant families seeking asylum in the States.
So be sure to check the links in our bio if you'd like to donate or learn more about the foundation. Now let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Next episode, we will be going over chapters 68 through 75 of Heat, the final part of our 10-part series.
We made it, guys.
Woo! Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Tune in every Friday on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts for a new episode of
Book Thoughts!